All right, welcome into Prize Picks on 5, a new edition here. Typically, you see me on with David Eversole, David Friedman, sometimes Greg Sylvander doing the NBA props, but we did want to tell everybody you can play the baseball props too. And when the NBA season is over sometime in June, you're going to need something to go with. It's the same code. It's 5, F-I-V-E. That's the official code of the 5 Reasons Sports Network. The reason that you use that is you can deposit up to $100. Your first time deposit doesn't have to be $100. It can be up to $100. They will match your deposit up to $100. You don't need to play it all at once. And again, you can play the flex play. You want to be a little more careful. I should have done that last night when I decided to go all in on a power play, and then Tyler Hero barely played in the fourth quarter. But it is what it is. So go to prizepicks.com, download the app at Google Play Store or on the App Store for iPhone. And again, use the code 5, F-I-V-E, get your initial deposit matched up to $100. I got David Fernandez here with me because we're going to introduce the baseball product to you. You can play the good thing about baseball is you play this every day.
Yep.
So you don't have to, sometimes there's going to be some NBA days, although I guess they're going every other day here during the conference finals. But during the season, NFL, obviously, a lot of times you got to wait till Thursday, Sunday, or Monday. Baseball, you can go every day. And they've got all kinds of props there, whether it's hits, strikeouts. They got everything, okay? Total bases, all of it. So I'm going to go to David here today. Let's go to some baseball props just to kind of show how this works. Again, the code is 5. And then we'll go through some Marlins props. And then at the end here, I will give you a couple of props that I like for the Celtics-Bucks game tonight, which is a Game 6 with the Bucks with a chance to go to the Eastern Conference Finals against the Heat. So, David, show the baseball boards, and let's see what this looks like.
So if you're on PrizePicks, you can, just click on the MLB board up here, and you can cruise through any of these types, as you mentioned, strikeouts, first inning runs, pitching outs, fantasy score, total bases, all sorts of stuff here. And, they don't have every player and they don't have every prop. But for the Marlins, for example, this evening, they've got Jazz Chisholm at 5 for the hitter fantasy score, the over-under, Jesus Aguilar. They've got some props here for Pablo Lopez, who's been really, really great early on. So, there's some interesting things that you can do from a Marlins perspective on PrizePicks this evening. But my picks, my baseball picks today, actually, they're not Marlins picks. The 3 that I really, really like today, they're sort of Marlins related to a certain extent because we've seen these guys terrorize the Marlins, and one of them played for the Marlins, obviously, for a while. But I really, really like Max Scherzer tonight to hit the over on 7.5 strikeouts. The Mets, they're one of the best teams in the NL right now, and they're facing the Seattle Mariners. And the Mariners have at least 10 strikeouts in each of their last 3 games. And we know that Scherzer's a big strikeout guy. He's got 8 strikeouts in 3 of his last 4 games. So I feel pretty comfortable hitting the over in that spot. And then, for the Marlins fans, we'll recognize this next name, Giancarlo Stanton. His projected total bases number is 1.5. I'm going over on that one too because he's really locked in at this point. He hit 2 homers yesterday. He's got a home run in 3 of his last 4 games. We know as Marlins fans, when Stanton gets rolling, he rolls for weeks at a time. So we're catching him on the upswing here. So I would feel comfortable with an over at 1.5 total bases. And then another one, the last one there is Mookie Betts for the Dodgers. He's coming off a recent 10-game hitting streak. Has cooled off a little bit over his last 2 games. But tonight, the Dodgers are playing the Phillies. And the Phillies starter's Kyle Gibson. Mookie Betts has a great history against Kyle Gibson. He's 8 for 20 with 3 homers in his career against Gibson. And Gibson is not a very good pitcher away from Philadelphia. They're in Los Angeles this evening. He's got a 4.20 ERA away from Philly. He's, the hitters are hitting him pretty well at this point in the month. He's given up a 286 batting average for the month of May. So those are the picks that I really feel comfortable with from a baseball perspective. And I think you can make some money if you roll with those.
One of the advantages of baseball is you can play it both ways. So if you like batters, you got pitchers, you can couple them together. The only thing you can't do is play players on the same team. We talk about that all the time on the NBA. So David's chosen 3 from different teams. All right, I'm going to pivot here to the NBA. I'm going to go with the first game tonight. We may do something here. I may do something with David Eversole later on the second game tonight, which is the Golden State game. I don't feel as comfortable with that one. We're going to look at Milwaukee, Boston. The Bucks have a chance, obviously, to advance to the Eastern Conference Finals against the Heat. This will be the third straight year that they play the Heat in the playoffs. Boston, of course, choked away the 12-point lead late in Game 5, and now they have to stave off elimination. I'm going to stay away from Giannis tonight. The number is so high. I feel like he'll go over it because he does always show up in big games. But across the board, if you look at his points, his points, rebounds, assists combined, it's a really big number. The same with Tatum. I'm going to kind of go with a couple of intermediate plays here. I really like Bobby Portis over 11.5 points tonight. I just think that he has picked up some of the scoring slack with Middleton. Most games, he's been over that. I think he has played big in big games for Milwaukee. Obviously, Drew was a terror defensively in the last game, but he hasn't really been great offensively. So I'm going to go with Bobby Portis over on points. And the other one's a little bit of a contrarian pick. Al Horford has been completely rejuvenated in Boston after, obviously, Philadelphia didn't work out when it basically took a year off in Oklahoma City. He's been great. I think the number got too high. I'm going to go under on Al Horford. They really weren't counting on him. If they're going to win and advance in this series, Jalen and Jason are going to be the focal points here. So I'm going to go under on Al Horford, but I'm going to do it on his points, rebounds, and assists combined, so 24.5. So that means I'm looking for more like a 12-8 game from Horford tonight, maybe with a couple assists. That would push him under the number. So those are the two that I like, but if you like Tatum, Brown, Giannis, Drew, you can look at the board. They're all on there already as we speak at about 1:30 Eastern time. But make sure you're using that code 5, F-I-V-E. David handles a lot of our baseball coverage here on the network, so we're going to be doing more of these shows as we go forward. And again, just get you used to some of the platforms beyond just NBA. Of course, we will do PrizePicks on 5 on Tuesday night for the first game of the Eastern Conference Finals. Don't worry about that. We'll have you ready for that. All right. Have a good day, everybody.